It seems like I do. I've got some nice looking jalapeños coming along. I've got some green peppers that I'm also going to harvest today, and I've also got some serranos. They're little tiny hot peppers, very hot, and I'm excited about that because I love a little heat in the winter. I love it to be able to give me a little bit of spice and a little bit of heat, and it warms me up, especially in the winter with a cake of cornbread and some delicious food. So come along with us as we do some dehydrating. I'm going to show you how, and maybe you can learn something. So we're ready to start with our peppers. We have washed and dried them. That's what I'm doing now. I'm really excited to get this going. We're going to be cutting them and placing them in the dehydrator. I like this method. I've tried the oven, but the oven was a little too long, and it was also, it heated up the house. And we used gas, we have a gas range, so it was very difficult to get it down low enough for one thing. And then also we used over a tank of gas. So I feel like that using the Presto dehydrator will be more efficient. This will go about, once I get them cut and get them into the dehydrator, it will take anywhere between 10 and 12 hours of dehydrating before they're ready. So, which I feel like 10 to 12 hours in the oven would be way too long to be heating up the house. It is fall at this point, and it is quite warm outside. It's probably 90 degrees at this point. So I don't want to heat the house up any more than I have to. So we're going to be using the dehydrator. I got my gloves. I'm ready to go. I'm just going to cap these and slice them down the middle for now, and then I'll come back and decide whether I want to take the seeds out. That one I'm going to do quarter. Okay. Okay, I've moved on to the serranos. You can see there's very few seeds in that, and they're smaller. So I'm gonna take the stem off and just slice them in half, and probably I'm not sure if I'm gonna de-seed them or not, but we'll see. Okay, I'm ready to de-seed the jalapenos. I'm gonna show you a really cool trick. I'm using a spoon, and you just scoop right down the center of it, and it scoops out all the seeds, and you don't have to waste your pepper. You want to start at the top of the pepper and come down. So right here, and then you'll just scoop down towards the end. Okay, I've got a full dehydrator. We're going to get it plugged up and get it going, and I'll show you when they're dry. I am now about to give my babies some. They can eat pepper seeds and the pepper itself, although you cannot feed pepper plants to chickens, but they enjoy the peppers. It gives them a little bit of boost in antibodies, and it also helps with egg laying. So feel free to give your chickens the fresh greens from your peppers. So while I was out picking peppers, I noticed that the chickens have a few flies in their coop. If you don't know anything about the flies, they will lay their eggs on their vent, and they will end up with an infection because the larvae then eats the skin of the chicken. So what we're going to do is, I've made up a concoction. Yes, that's a word, concoction. And it is all natural. It is Bonner. It's Bonner Castile soap. It is, and that's important. Don't put anything on there that's not organic or fresh, because your chicken may eat it, and I don't like, you know, to think they're eating something they shouldn't. So it is Bonner Castile soap, about 1/4 cup. It is, I've got clove essential oil, and I've also got, which is food grade, and I've got peppermint food grade and essential oil, and then I have apple cider vinegar, and then water, and I've, you know, shake it up really good, and then I spray the coop every day with it, just to make sure that the flies are not you know, on there. I keep the coop clean. I don't let things sit around. I don't feed them, you know, vegetables and things like that that could attract flies. I do, but then I get them out whenever they're done with them. I don't leave them in there. So I also make sure their feed is put in on a daily basis. I don't let it sit there. I keep their coop very clean. Their litter is taken out every day where they roost. I also make sure that they have fresh water every day. So the chickens is my family, and I love them, and I want to make sure they're healthy. So I hope this little tip helps you. I also want to add in that you can use lavender. Lavender is actually good for their sleep. Gives them a fresh, clean smell. I also use ground up cinnamon in their nesting boxes, and I also put in fresh herbs. I use rosemary, basil. I dry it and I crumble it in, and it keeps everything smelling fresh and clean for them. I also use marigolds. Marigolds are very healthy for them if they eat them. So you can use a variety of different herbs, fresh or dried. I also use in my spray, I also put in some rosemary, or I'll do some type of basil or something like that. It depends on what I have on hand. But flies and gnats do not like the smell of peppermint, so I do use peppermint quite a bit. But anything to keep their coop fresh and clean. I also use a very good lime. It's a special lime that is not for chicken. It is for chickens. It doesn't hurt them. You can also use DG. So I keep things on hand just to keep their little coop fresh. I don't like for them to be sitting in their feces and things like that. So I keep it nice and tidy. And that's the health of your chickens, is to keep them from having parasites. Also keeps them from having infections. And you can use garlic. Chickens actually will eat garlic. Sometimes I spread it into their food, but I don't use much, just a little bit. And it tends to build their antibodies. So that's just some ideas that you can use in your chicken coop. Well, as you can see, our last peppers come off the dehydrator, and they're all finished. I've got them in little jars, and this is how we'll preserve them. And just put them in your cabinet in a dry, dark place, and they will last. And all you have to do is take them out, crumble them up, crush them, grind them, whatever you need to do to put them in soups, stews, meatloaf, any kind of product that you're using that you need a pepper in. I've got them separated out into different brands or different kinds. I've got serrano, jalapeno, and green pepper, and that way I know which one I'm using. I don't want to give the kids hot peppers, even though my husband and I love them. The kids don't, the grandkids don't. So it depends on what I'm cooking, but you can use them for anything. They're just great to have on hand in the winter when you need something. So that's all of my video today. I appreciate you being here. I hope you'll join me on the next one, and I hope to see you then. Thank you for watching.